December 23rd, 1823. A poem appears at the bottom of page 3 in a small-town newspaper. No author, no fanfare. Just 56 lines that will change Christmas forever and create the Santa Claus your children believe in today. Stay until the end to discover how this anonymous poem became the most powerful Christmas tradition in America. Imagine you're the editor of the Troy Sentinel in upstate New York. It's December 23rd, 1823, and you need to fill space at the bottom of page 3. A woman named Sarah Sackett walks into your office and hands you a poem. A visit from St. Nicholas, she calls it. No author's name, just words on paper. You read the opening line. "'Twas the night before Christmas, when all through the house not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse." It's charming, it's whimsical, it fills the space perfectly. So you print it, and you have no idea you've just changed Christmas forever. Because here's the thing, before this poem, Americans had wildly different ideas about who Santa Claus was. Some picture a tall, thin man in a bishop's robe. Others imagine a stern disciplinarian who punishes naughty children. He rides a white horse. He's serious. He's intimidating. He's definitely not jolly. But this mysterious poem paints an entirely different picture. The Santa in these verses has a broad face and a little round belly that shook when he laughed, like a bowl full of jelly. He's cheerful. He's magical. He flies through the air, pulled by 8 reindeer with actual names: Dasher, Dancer, Prancer, Vixen, Comet, Cupid, Dunder, Blixen. He doesn't come through the door like a normal person. He slides down chimneys. He knows if you've been sleeping. He fills stockings hung by the fireplace. And when he leaves, he calls out, "Happy Christmas to all, and to all a good night." Within weeks, other newspapers are reprinting the poem. Within months, it's spreading across America. Within years, this version of Santa Claus, this jolly gift giver created by anonymous verses, is replacing every other tradition. The poem is doing something incredible. It's unifying Christmas. But here's where the story gets fascinating. Nobody knows who wrote it. For 13 years, A Visit from St. Nicholas has been the most famous anonymous poem in America. Everyone wants to see the author's identity. Finally, in 1837, a man named Clement Clarke Moore, a wealthy professor from Manhattan, stepped forward. He admits he wrote it one snowy evening in 1822 for his children. His housekeeper, without his knowledge, copied it and sent it to a friend. That friend showed it to Sarah Sackett, and Sarah brought it to the Troy Sentinel. Moore is embarrassed. He's a serious scholar of Hebrew and Greek literature. Writing silly children's poems? That's beneath his dignity. But his children beg him to claim it. They're proud of their father's creation. So reluctantly, he puts his name on the most beloved Christmas poem ever written. But wait, there's a twist. In the 1840s, the family of a man named Henry Livingston Jr. came forward. They claim Henry, a Revolutionary War veteran and poet who died in 1828, wrote the poem and had been reciting it to them since the early 1800s. They say Moore stole it. The debate has raged for almost 200 years. In 2013, lawyers in Troy, New York, actually held a mock trial, Livingston versus Moore, trying to settle the question once and for all. Computer analysis, handwriting experts, literary scholars. The verdict? Still inconclusive. The jury hangs. And you know what? Maybe it doesn't matter. Regardless of who put pen to paper, what matters is what those words created. Before December 23rd, 1823, Christmas in America was chaotic, inconsistent, and sometimes even forgotten. After this poem, Christmas becomes magical. Think about it. Is every mall Santa wearing a red suit? That's this poem. Every child leaving cookies by the chimney? This poem. Every reindeer decoration on your neighbor's lawn? This poem. The entire idea that Christmas Eve is the most magical night of the year, when something impossible happens? All of it traces back to 56 anonymous lines at the bottom of page 3 in a newspaper most people had never heard of. The Troy Sentinel closed its doors years ago, but there's still a plaque at 225 River Street in Troy, New York, marking where the magic began. And every December 23rd, people make pilgrimages there, standing outside in the snow, reading those opening lines aloud. "'Twas the night before Christmas." Today, more than 200 years later, parents still read this poem to their children on Christmas Eve. The words haven't changed. The reindeer still have the same names, though we now say Donner and Blitzen instead of Dunder and Blixen. And children still believe in the magic, the same magic that appeared anonymously in a newspaper 2 days before Christmas in 1823. One poem, 56 lines, no author, and suddenly, Christmas has a story that every American child knows by heart. That's not just literary history. That's the power of words to create belief, to build tradition, to make magic real. Here at History Sparks, we believe every day holds a spark that changed the world. If this story reminded you of the magic in tradition, of the power of words to create wonder, then become part of our community. Hit subscribe and turn on notifications, because tomorrow we're lighting another spark from history that will change how you see Christmas and the world. But before you close this video, I want you to do something tonight. I want you to think about the traditions you're passing down. Someone somewhere, maybe Moore, maybe Livingston, perhaps someone we'll never know, sat down and wrote a poem for children. They probably thought it was just for one night, one Christmas, one small moment. They had no idea they were creating something that would live for 2 centuries and counting. What are you creating that might outlive you? What words are you saying to your children that they'll repeat to their children? What traditions are you starting today that your great-great-grandchildren might still be doing? You don't have to write a famous poem. You don't have to publish anything, but you can tell your stories. You can record your voice reading the night before Christmas for your kids so they can play it for their kids someday. You can write down what Christmas meant to you growing up. You can describe the year everything went wrong and somehow turned magical anyway. Your family stories are waiting to be told. The tradition of Christmas Eve, the special breakfast you make, the ornament that's been on your tree for 40 years, the way your grandmother always said grace. These aren't just memories. They're the beginning of legends. They're the poems that your family will recite long after you're gone. 200 years ago, someone shared a poem with a friend who shared it with another friend who brought it to a newspaper. That chain of sharing, that willingness to pass something beautiful forward, that's what kept the magic alive. Be that person in your family. Be the one who writes it down. Be the one who tells the stories. Be the one who starts the tradition that your great-great-grandchildren will someday fight over who really started it. Because here's the secret that the night before Christmas teaches us. Magic doesn't happen by accident. Someone has to create it. Someone has to write it down. Someone has to believe it's worth sharing. Someone has to pass it forward. Let that someone be you. Tomorrow we spark another story. Tonight you spark your own legend. I'll see you soon. Until then, keep the stories glowing, keep the magic growing. And happy Christmas to all.